Now we'll start covering a number of AI cases that we would like to present to you. How can AI help you in this or that? So we've actually figured 4 scenarios that we could present to you today, which could be relevant depending on which department you are in. I'll just count them 4 and then we'll see which interest there is in this in the audience today, and then we'll focus a bit more on those. So for one, we actually have a case where we are going to use AI is recruitment. Recruitment can be a hassle, right? So there's a lot of coordination with people out there and a lot of manual work as well for people in the HR department. So that's one area that will show you how to use AI in the recruitment. Are there any takers for that? Anyone interested in recruitment? CRM you're interested in? Okay, perfect. That's great. We'll show that as well. We have that case covered, by the way. So we start with HR. We will take care of AP automation, invoices. There are companies who have lots of invoices coming in. Then is someone typing the invoices into a system, etc. So that is another topic. Anyone who's interested in that? Okay, all right.
Supply chain.
Supply chain, yeah. Perfect. And the third case that we're going to cover is actually CRM. So that's another thing. And the fourth case that we're going to cover in plant maintenance related to manufacturing and plants, etc. So what we'll do is we'll just give you an appetite today and we'll follow up with you on all the other details, because this is my HR solution, but I'm going to take you to 1/8 of this part just because we have a limited time, so we can't cover everything. But yes, we'll just give you a kind of a trailer, and then after that, we'll follow one more. So what we're going to do is I'll just explain you the process. We're going into our HR system. So Satnam will navigate there. And we have actually created a vacancy in the system. And we have done a career portal where there have been registrations of candidates who have come in. And these candidates have been pre-screened by AI already. Now, what will happen next is that the pre-screening is based on the resume. So the resume is checked, the data from the resume is extracted, the PDF or Word document or whatever you get, and also the data they have entered the career portal is analyzed. And based on that, there has been some sort of shortlisting of resumes. And after that, we are triggering a screening process, which is normally done by someone in the HR department to make a first call to screen them, right? Saying, hey, when can you join? What is your current salary? And these kind of questions. Now, from my experience, the HR is often not, let's say, connected with the actual business. So they cannot ask business related questions or operation related questions. They generally ask questions that are more HR related only. So sometimes we wish because some people are not available, the client is not available, he cannot take the interview. So there is a bit more pre-screening related to the job profile, which the HR cannot be trained on because that's not their subject. So today we have AI, right? And AI is able to be trained on pretty much everything, but we don't have to overdo it. So what we're doing is actually we are trying to make a phone call, not by a person, but by AI. So AI will be making a phone call to the candidate and do a screening. And we listen to that. It will be on a phone. And I'll try to keep the phone here in the middle so we can all hear it. So it's a software developer position, by the way. We're going to look at the applicants. So these are the applicants that have actually applied to the position. And there have been a shortlisting and a star rating done by the AI based on the content already. Now, the next step is this gentleman, Deep Mehta. Let's make a call to him and see how it is essentially. If he gets a call, and then, yeah, what will happen?
So yeah, the resume.
It's all uploaded here, by the way. So the AI will actually essentially also go into the content of the resume and ask relevant questions related to the position and related to the person who has applied for that.
So the candidates are loading their CV into a portal.
So the candidates would go to your career portal on the website, let's say, or it could come from naukri.com, their APIs, etc. Now, once they are loaded in, they are pushed through an AI channel, so to say, where there is a short listing that happens.
So is there any JD in the background?
There is a JD in the background. There's a position, there's the detail of the entry per position, all that is there. And the AI's job is to match it with not only the JD, but also similar profiles that have been already hired previously. Let's do the screening. So let's get a phone call. Let me do an interaction and we'll try to make a natural interaction and then see how it goes. The AI will go and check all the details together before AI makes a call. So take a few seconds.
Onfinity. Am I talking to Deep Pesa?
Yeah, hi, this
I Deep. Thank you for taking the time to say this. Before we dive into the specific software developer position, I need to confirm some details with you for our record. May I proceed with a few questions?
Yes, you may.
Great, thank you. Could you please confirm your contact number?
It's 95011 42299.
Thank you for that. Confirm your email.
It's Atul at onfinity.io.
Thank you for that.
I'm a junior software developer right now.
It's a thick thumb up working in your file test.
Can I correct myself? Sorry, I'm a senior software developer.
Not the top. So you're a senior top developer. So thumb down have to make working in this test.
So for the last 3.5 years.
What's the most day you will need to serve in your current company?
So actually it's 90 days, but if I talk to them, maybe I can negotiate 60 days.
Difference. And what are your salary expectations for this new role?
Well, I think, I don't know, 10 lakhs would be good. Sorry, let's say 15 lakhs.
Have you ever worked on AI?
Yes, I have. Most certainly, yes.
Yes, definitely.
So in development, overall, 7 years. Yes, I do have a valid passport, but it's going to expire in 3 months or so, I guess.
API.
Yes, little bit. Not so much, but little bit. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Now I'd like to ask a few from the details of your may I proceed?
Yeah, you can, please.
I see from your resume that you have extensive experience with cloud technology, particularly with Azure. Could you elaborate on your experience with Azure services and how you implemented them in your project?
Well, actually, I have worked on Azure. We have hosted some applications for some clients and specific ERP systems. Typically, it was Azure in connection with Geo, actually. So it's actually Geo, not Azure.
AI project mentioned in your resume. How did you think the AI integration have got for AI workflows or
Yeah, that was a very tricky one actually that we did. So we hosted it on GitHub and we also hosted an LLM and we were able to connect our code with that LLM and essentially we were able to develop some business cases for our customers.
that sounds like a sophisticated integration. They ensure that it works out well. Before we wrap out, that was a year share for basketball the question on the top.
Yeah. So what is the kind of salary you are giving on this position?
Competitive to the Spanish the state of that quality. While I don't have the exact figure at the moment, your expectation of 15 lakhs will be considered and discussed for the interview process with the hiring manager. They should provide more detailed information based on the company's salary structure and you fit for the role. If Peer would like to
Yeah. And it's like for the interview, how many interview rounds do you have?
the interview typically involves three rounds. The first is the technical round, where you'll be assessed from your coding as problem solving. The second round is with the hiring manager, focusing on your experience and fit for it. The final round is the case start discussion.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome, Lee. Thank you for your time today and for sharing all this information. We will be in touch with the next step. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Take care. Bye. So my colleague will actually load the whole conversation that has happened. So our AI is capable of all the Indian languages and most of them, I guess. There are so many. So the main Hindi, of course, but also Tamil and others. So
Like once you choose one language, you do continue in that language.
So actually, there is a possibility to create a routing. This is all agentic network based, what we do. And one agent specializes on one. And the more capability you give to one agent, the more you confuse that agent. So what we do is we have a supervisor agent and that routes the things to respective language agents. So we're not coupled or connected this one with the respective other languages agent. But yeah, this is possible to have a proper conversation. In fact, you could speak in Chinese and others as well. So that's pretty much possible. We've got some use case scenarios we've shown on the last event. We've uploaded a user manual of an equipment in Chinese and we were able to ask questions in Hindi, how the maintenance and all works. So that kind of capabilities are there. And you see, so these are the answers that have come in. So we've not only spoken and that all was recorded, but actually based on that, all the answers were captured. A proper transcript of the call is available in the system, and this is a full transcript as well. And beyond that, there's actually also a rank or a scoring calculated based on the responses. So you have a bunch of candidates, you do the screening, and at the end, you would have a ranking. Okay, these are the top guys. So we'll start with the actual interview round with those that have been answering the best. So all of that gets into evaluation. And of course, further the next steps, etc., can be defined as well. Now, this process step, this is very little step. There are a number of criteria that you train an agent on. One conversation, which is even within one HR recruitment module, there may be a positions that requires seniority and seriousness versus others. If you are talking to some, let's say, roles in sales or which requires communication, there it is important that someone can actually communicate in a very different social way as well. So there are nuances of how you want the candidate to be in terms of your expectation. Now, that's why the job cannot be given to one particular agent or one particular method. The prompt has to be different every time or should be different. Now, if you look at our prompt, the way we have done, they said you should have a interactive social approach. These are the things that we've added into this. Even from the HR side, like, oh, that's great. And like in public, you could say, okay, thank you, let's move on. Question number one, question number two. Said, no, we don't want that. We want like a natural conversation, bit more social. But this is exactly the point. Now, your business requirement is a permutation combination of millions of different items that you require in that way. So any solution which comes to you with a hard-coded way of will not work for you. The AI has to be trained for you specifically. The prompt has to be customized for you specifically, but that all without coding and all, right? It has to be a prompt and it has to be based on knowledge based from your company. It should know all about your company because the candidate can ask anything about the company and you must know what are the policies, all that stuff you could present. So this is just one way of presenting it. So there will be many different ways depending on the type of organizations and the roles that you are in. So there's another question.
The rental type of service, or suppose if I am having some need to recruit a bunch of people and there that time I just want to have this.
It's a very good point, actually. So, in a way, everything is rental, whatever we see here today, because it's the cloud, right? It's pay and you, it's a commercial model, is in a way, right? You don't pay if you cannot use it in a way. So, the AI generally today, the way it works is based on the consumption that you do. Suppose the company are raising success factor, so how your system is going to integrate with the answer. So we are integrating with success factor, by the way, through APIs, through web service. So I will give you a webhook from success factor to push the calling process, the recruitment. Please go ahead. In fact, our system is being used in a lot of accounts where success factor is the HR system and we are the document management system behind that also. It's a specialization of employee file management. Because the factors did not solve in that way. We solve it in a slightly different way. So there are companies who have used us as an extension to success factors, and we've got connection to more than 2,000 applications, including SAP, success factors, Ariba, and other and ERP, Oracle, etc. as well. So you're able to keep your ERP if you want. You don't have to switch, but you can use our Canvas platform instead of BTP or in addition to BTP. Let's put it that way, and run your processes also on that. For the technical. Suppose you are building this application using some LLM. Right. So LLM is designed by your organization or say even using third-party LLM. So good point. Honestly, we also don't build an LLM. We use the LLM, but we don't use third-party LLMs hosted on third-party servers. Okay. So suppose technically, if as a candidate, I know you are using that LLM from Microsoft or from Google. I understand that way of working of this LLM is this. Right. You upload the biodata. These are the bundles which you build on the candidate. So we've taken third-party LLMs, but not as an API. We are not using a publicly available LLM. What we use is our own hosted LLM, but based by a third party, but trained by us. Exactly. So, but they are trained for specialized purposes by us. And as the customers start using it, they are further getting trained on the way you work as well. Let's go back to one thing. Is there someone from the HR department here? Okay. So the process today of screening, let's say management calls, we need 10 people, 20 people, 50 people in this department. The moment you have to do recruitment or specific functions, you have unlimited capacity. There could be 10 sellers calling at the same time, 10 candidates. The result that you would have in 5 days, you may have in 2 hours. So that's the ability where you can utilize AI and these tools that they are not being utilized. I tell you one thing, we're talking about a year and a half ago. We didn't know ChatGPT and all that stuff. We were using it in our daily lives, including the work. We're sharing a lot of data with that. Where we are at is baby steps. Like Badri also mentioned, the GPU is graphical processing here, not even made for AI. So the era of AI is just coming in. Now we can't expect too much sophistication from the AI, right? But I can, in HR alone, I can give you maybe 1,000 examples. I'll just take like workforce planning. You may have different departments where you are asking once a year the department managers to say, okay, what is your next year's requirement for workforce planning? And it is right now probably some Excel file or some form that you send them through your ERP or HR system that they start filling in. What if you do a prompt, like a conversation with the AI saying, okay, AI has all the information. Hey, you know what? I'm planning to increase my production by 20%. So what do you recommend? It gives you that data and saves that into your form and then it gets back. Time saved for the manager, right? So the idea of this whole thing is actually, it is making you aware of the possibilities that exist today. They are not perfect by any means, right? They are not perfect. but they can already help you save time in millions of combinations in your business, manufacturing, HR, sales, finance, and all these areas. And showing you something beyond ChatGPT for people who have not looked into that right now. That's all they know, maybe right now. But here, there are some examples how you can use this further as well. Now we'll move to the next one. Actually, we have been getting lots of requests actually from this region, by the way, on AP automation. Now, AP automation typically is you get accounts payable invoices. A lot of them come in, and I've seen people have raised their hand on this topic. And there is data in that invoices, like PDFs, etc. And you would like to create an invoice in your finance department by reading those documents essentially. Earlier, there was a technology called OCR, optical character recognition, that we produce. So this optical character recognition was not accurate in terms of extracting structured data. So typically, you would read the whole thing and then you would index that thing. So basically, after OCR, there was a zonal OCR where you say, okay, is invoice में यहाँ पे होता है data, and so you started training that, which also wasn't really accurate. Now we have the AI, so we are able to actually extract data from all sorts of different formats. And again, a little productivity step, nothing big. It's not like rocket science also, but it's one way today. We have had a case where I think there were 80 people in one department who were entering invoices already. If you can save 50% even of their work, right? Doesn't have to be 100%, 60% of their work. It's a lot of productivity gains. So we wanted to show you today an example where we have the capabilities of an AP automation solution here as well. It's again AI driven. So what happens is when you have invoices, right? Someone sitting in a scanning room just scanning them, they get uploaded, they get validated into a queue of invoices that have come in, and they are automatically read and matched to a large extent. And sometimes they're already processed if it is 100% match. In cases if it was not 100% match, they're also presented to the human key update flow, anything that you want to do change or anything. So here we have on the right side a text invoice. So what we have done is here actually we have read the content of this document in this case, and we've put that in the right structure automatically, where not only are we able to keep the content and put it here, we can recognize the PO number as well and match the data with the PO as well. And based on that, generate the invoice in the system. Now, in some cases, like there may be some discrepancy here, which is being highlighted here. And you can, of course, select the correct one accordingly and modify it and save it. So that's basically coming from something called IDP, which is intelligent document processing, which, by the way, also checks whether this invoice is already existing in that case. So you will also have a duplicate check. Again, some productivity gain in one little area of your company, which you can do today by using AI. And this goes even further than saying, okay, you know what? You have this invoice. You may have not approved it yet, but you have recorded it already because it has come this way. But it shows some discrepancy in that moment with your PO or with your delivery or whatever. So that's another possibility that you would have, again, using the IDP, the logic. And one use case that we also wanted to show, of course, if you would like to see that more in detail with your data, we would like to offer that for you, by the way. If that's a business case that you have and you have the most difficult one that you would like, and please be in touch with us. Be happy to do all the invoice.
We can upload the document.
Yeah, so we can also here upload directly from this one. Yeah,
We can show one. So either with the SAP or Yanri.
yeah, very good point. So this one is integrated with SAP where the invoice first comes here. We load the PO data, we connect the PO data from SAP order if they're in the also any delivery, the gardens, etc. receive, and the matching is done based on that with SAP. Once everything is done, you can decide whether the approval has to happen here or in SAP, because here is also an app where you can simply show it to the cost center managers, etc. And then after that, it's pushed to SAP as the finance. I've uploaded a new one. I think that's fine. We'll move to the next case.
Yeah, this is the one.
So by the way, there is a full DMS system that is part of this platform where if you upload, for example, a legal contract, a sales contract or whatnot, and you would like automatically to extract data of like expiry date, jurisdiction, alerts when you need to do something. So it is able to extract also data not only from invoices, but contracts, challans, all sorts of different documents they can train the AI on. And based on that, set up alerts automatically and many other things. So that's something we do. Right now, we're working on the legal tech side with one ministry in the Middle East where we're developing a legal platform on this platform for the complete jurisdiction in that country, where all the previous precedence cases are being uploaded. All the law books are being digitized and uploaded or are being uploaded. And essentially, it is going to be a platform for lawyers as well as judges that will have access to this platform, can ask questions, upload case data, and ask questions about precedents, etc. Of course, decisions will not be taken based on that initially, but that's the goal over time, to train the system to support judges and accelerate the process of decisions in jurisdictions. All right, let's up to the next case that we would like to cover as well. Is a very short one, a CRM case, because that's something that you also were interested in. So typically in B2B or B2C, typically everybody has a website today. People do register, they have a form, contact us form on websites. So we're going to just show one brief scenario. It may or may not match the way you do sales, but it's just one scenario where we have actually a form where we can register inquiry on the website. And it's a very natural thing that this goes back into your CRM system, right? So whatever people register goes back into your CRM system. And after that, someone comes in and logs in and checks, okay, kisne register kiya? And then they start, let me qualify that person and call that person. And sometimes what happens is on these web pages also some spam gets registered. So that also happens at time. So what we're actually trying to do is we are going to register a lead, and that lead should be checked based on possible spam. And essentially, there should be more information collected about that inquiry from the internet, including their LinkedIn website, etc. And there should be some sort of a rating. Does that make sense for us? Does this lead match with our business or not? So that's a bit of a scenario that we're doing. All right, so let's fill that. Can I have someone's name and company name, maybe? Your name?
Kailas Pathak.
Kalidas Pathak.
ALIDAS. So
Now, can we have your email ID, please?
kailas.pathak@srmb.com. That's
At SRMB.
SRMB
SRMB.about. Can we have your phone number, please?
92300.
And company?
SRMB Srijan Private Limited. SRMB Srijan Private
Private. So this is a sample one for registering on a portal to get an ISO certification. So we'll do that and say, okay, we're looking for a certification, 9001, right? All right, just agree to the terms and then let's submit. All right, so far, very basic thing, nothing innovative in that. Of course, the fact that it goes back into a CRM system is also nothing innovative. So we'll have a look at that. Yeah, let's go to the lead window. All right, so we've got you here in this case, got your details. Let's have a look at next. So you've got a registration done. And this moment, nothing has happened. There's no score or nothing like this has been. Just whatever you've given is entered and saved here right now. Typically CRM process. Now, what we have done is actually, in the moment you registered with us, what we have done is we've created a thread for you in the AI. So we have initiated an AI process already the moment you registered, which will go and do some research about you, sir. I hope you don't mind seeing what we find out about you. It's okay to show that? All right. So this is running in the backend now. There's been a internet research which is being triggered right now. And based on that, we hope that in the next few seconds, there will be some data for that and we can work with that. Something has already come in. So there's something already here, which we have not entered. Is this called data enrichment in CRM? And the moment we ask someone, we want to find out more about that person. So we've seen, you have not told us your position, but is that correct? It was the old one. Yeah, but it was this. And this may be your LinkedIn profile as well. So this helps the sales in that moment to get more insights about you.
based on the last update.
Yeah, whatever is available in the internet about this gentleman will be checked. Not only on LinkedIn, it will check several other pages also. It will prepare a summary. It will post a summary here. And this summary does not just go here. Let's say if I schedule a Teams call with you and we have a conversation and all that conversation's transcript will also go into that. If I make a phone call to you, which I can, by the way, from here directly, and this transcript of my phone call with you will also go into that. So essentially what we're doing is we're building a 360 degree of all conversations around a potential customer. Sometimes what happens is sales always has a positive feeling about closing a deal, right? But it may or may not be correct at times. So we try to find an objective way to measure whether this call was positive or negative, or was it neutral. So that's what we're doing using AI. Again, one little part of your business process, which may help you in one area. So in this case, it has done some scoring, it has brought in some information, and the more you interact, like you can schedule a Teams meeting directly from here. So that's another possibility of a business case that you can use using a CRM system and such a platform like Onfinity. if you go to the green button where I can pick a call, so I could click this number and I would speak to sir. The other possibility is if you go to the workflow last node, and we could actually say, okay, we would like to have an initiate lead qualification call. This would be an AI call, like what you've seen earlier. So we've got a bunch of possibilities, and this is not fixed. You can add any number based on your scenarios that you. That's what you can do with the platform essentially. And we also just briefly saw Aura, which is our AI assistant within this application, and want to say, okay, Aura, tell me, do you think this could be a sale here or not? What do you think is the probability, or what do you know about this gentleman? Anything related to what we have stored in terms of conversation, you can get all that information and a guidance. So instead of ChatGPT on ChatGPT's website, you've got your own ChatGPT, but related to your data and being sure that this data is not shared with anyone else. It remains within your organization, relevant data accordingly. And I will leave to Satnam to just cover our last case, which will also go very quickly. We did a presentation in Mumbai and Pune on field service, land maintenance, and where we also made some phone calls, but you've seen phone call scenario already. So we'll jump into another one, which is related to data entry, which is a boring job. Anybody doing data entry on computer doesn't like to do it. I sell software myself. I know I hate it myself. And if the data is not good, then the output is also not good. We say, right, garbage in, garbage out. Now, for example, if I'm working in a plant and I have some equipment, I should prepare a proper plant maintenance schedule for certain equipment. I should do that, right? In order to do that, I have to enter task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4. So we are using AI to actually do data entry in a very different way. So we have a scenario where we have some equipment that has been bought by the company. And with that equipment, there was some user manuals or technical manuals delivered, which normally there are PDFs, etc. So we're going to upload a technical manual to one asset that the company has acquired. There is a 900 kVA generator that has been acquired by the company. Let's upload a document. We'll upload a technical manual into the system on that. And the moment we upload is actually, this gets captured by the AI. And good thing is connected with this asset already. We're uploading it from that screen. So it's connected with this. Now what we would want the AI to do is we would actually put a prompt and ask the AI to generate a preventive maintenance schedule for this asset. Now, preventive maintenance schedule for an asset for those who deal with equipment is not easy. There are so many activities that have to be performed, respective timings and people, and there could be monthly schedules, there could be weekly schedules, etc., etc. So that's what we would ask the AI to actually do right now. So here's Aura, which is our AI assistant.
Yeah, also like maintenance people doesn't like to enter much data. We all know that because they like to work on the machinery only. So it's very beneficial for them. So they can upload the documents. They can simply ask the AI to generate the schedules or generate the task, whatever they like. So
Can I hear the stylish manual? It can, yes. Yes.
we'll show you that use case. So let's start a conversation.
It should be wasting GPU power on high.
That's very actually disconnecting the network. Net schedule. Yeah.
What should maintain should we understand?
Yes, it understands the language of language. Yeah.
Okay. Now, even like you've not mentioned maintenance schedule, just schedule.
Yeah, yeah, for like talking about the equipment, it's trained on this particular thing only. It's not like trained on nature and all. It's trained on this particular schedule only.
Okay.
So it's asking me from when I want to start the actual class. So let's put some date.
So whatever input it needs, it will ask you for that input.
If there's something is missing for this asset, it will ask you. You have to enter here only. You don't have to maintain. So once we enter the details, it can be improved by itself only. So we don't have to do it manually each and every time.
I had a presentation, it was in Riyadh on AI computation only. It was one of our first presentations actually. We were trying to figure out 3 days before the event and we could not make the AI work somehow. I mean, we were not able to understand why it's not working. The conversation was not working and all, and then we had no clue because you can't write logic into that, right? It has taken its AI. So we asked our guys to say, keep asking questions. Just go on, keep asking questions. It took us 3 days and it was working very well after that. So with that training data, it gets better this time.
Yeah. So you can see it creates multiple schedules. It's generated. So we can see different tasks.
So it does not go to the internet or it does not apply its own mind in this moment because we're uploading the document. So it will very strictly follow that procedure. That case.
Do you have any model of predictive maintenance?
We do. Yes. So, by the way, we're working with 2-3 customers right now on that topic, and where we are condition monitoring is one topic, as well as all the historical maintenance data which is being captured to predict potential failure. So we typically connect into a middleware to fetch the data, load it into our database, so to say, which is our AI database, and then essentially keep analyzing. So for each activity that you do, by the way, it's not one AI. It's for every activity is a separate agent. It could be even a separate LLM, which we put train on, and specific functions will be trained on. For example, an answer would be that this equipment has a likelihood of 89% that it will fail in the next 1 week, or it could fail. So that kind of answer you can expect. What we're doing, where we're saying, okay, you know what? You have to bring an alert on those items that would, based on probability, have a potential failure where you can actually schedule the preventive maintenance of those items respectively. And that's what is possible today. But I would like to invite you to our event specifically on this topic, by the way, which is Field.ai, our specific product for that, where we are showing a lot of use cases and scenarios related to that, where you can, I think, get a bit more insight on that. Yeah. Okay, I think so. Just to wrap up quickly, so the AI has been able to generate the respective schedules, and the data will see what are the tasks it has generated as well. And so in this case, there have been 2 activities generated, and this is something that comes from the technical manual that had been uploaded essentially.
And AI can help the factors that human cannot consider many times. Like for machines, the environment factor is very much that we ignore mostly. Suppose the ambient temperature is like raised 1 degree. So machine got failure, the chances of the failure will increase by 20%. So these things AI can automatically learn from your sensors data and all that. So we have to feed little data to the AI. It can provide us not exactly, but most of the accurate answer that
We had one case actually, I think we were together in that meeting where someone said, you know what? There are 3 parameters. All these 3 parameters in themselves are pretty normal. But the combination of these 3 parameters going in a certain range becomes a potential breakdown. Yeah. So these things a human cannot, because threshold-based prediction criteria is not there. All right. Well, wonderful engagement. Thank you very much, everybody. Any questions, by the way? You got anything on fraud detection? So yes, we've got some stuff. If you want, I can follow up with you on that topic. Yeah, can share with you a bit more details on that. Just on the, because people's mind always runs on, okay, what will it cost for me? Okay, just quickly. The cost is always dependent on the intensity of usage, as we mentioned earlier, but we've got some ready models for small businesses that start as much as 10,000 rupees a month. Ready solution on the Geo Cloud, by the way. Of course, for larger, this number will definitely not be valid because there the needs are very different. And it is a lot of tailored stuff with their own dedicated hardware. But we're happy to give you an early projection on if you want to find out and compare it with the market, etc. And list the use cases together with you. And your sales will be definitely happy to have a word with you on this topic. But
Thank you so much.